It's really a pleasure to be here and to meet all the great RTEs that are at the Circle today. So we're going to speak about how do you drive a value-focused release train, and what are some of the problems that we're seeing today in the field. So just to set the stage, to set the context for this presentation, we all know that digital transformation has really been accelerated, especially by, the root cause of the pandemic. That has really caused people to have to do digital transformation much faster. It's accelerated that to a large degree, and that's a good thing. That's one, I guess, bright side of the pandemic, is that we are now, it's given us the impetus, the reason to do digital transformations. However, spending is really high, about $6.8 trillion spent globally on transformation. However, according to the Boston Consulting Group, about 70% of those transformations fall short of their objectives, and often with profound consequences, both personally for executives as well as for companies who are unable to make the leap into having a good digital transformation and are able to keep pace with all the other companies who are moving much faster today. The world seems to be moving faster and faster. I often kid my wife that I think that the world is spinning faster, because it seems that, it's Monday and all of a sudden it's like, boom, it's Friday already. Things just go really fast. New products and services, new market entries are happening all the time, and it's much easier to enter the market today. So it's even more critical. So you got to ask yourself, if 70% of these transformations fail, what are some of the reasons behind that? And so there's been a number of studies done, and one of them was done by digital.ai, and about one of the things they found was about 91% of the companies felt that they weren't getting enough out of their digital transformations, and almost 50% didn't get the results they expected. So why is it happening? Well, it's happening because of siloed teams, siloed data, and the lack of visibility across trains and the portfolio. Often leaders don't have the commitment to these transformations, or don't have the knowledge they need. And most importantly, there's not enough focus on improving the flow of value. It's not about delivering faster, it's really about delivering more value, and more on that in a few minutes. The other thing that I see as a big problem is having the alignment of strategy and execution. If you don't know where you're going, then any road will take you there. And if you take any road, you probably will get someplace, but not maybe the place that you need to be. And managing work in projects really inhibits agility. And that's why Agile release trains are so important, because it allows us to have a team of Agile teams which stays together for long periods of time. It's long-lived. So there are some questions that you need to ask yourself as an RTE to think about whether or not your train is really delivering value. So as we go along here, count how many no's that you have. So has your organization moved from project orientation to a product orientation? Or are you still using projects with release trains? Do you actually instrument your systems so that you can know the features that we're delivering? Has anyone found those features? Has anyone used those features? Are those features moving the needle in the business? Is it providing value to our customers? And is it providing value to the organization? Are you measuring your art's performance based on velocity? Or are you measuring your art's performance based on key performance indicators and leading indicators as well? Because we don't often get the information we need, such as revenue and market share. So in addition to KPIs, we also need to have leading indicators to make sure that we're on track. One of the things that I look at when we're seeing if we're delivering customer value is, have we changed the behavior of our customers? If we're changing customer behavior, likely that we're adding value, such as staying on our website longer, ordering more products, maybe they're subscribing to things that we sell, etc. Do you periodically map and optimize your value streams? Or did you identify your value streams once and you haven't touched it? Because I know everyone's a little bit scared of value stream mapping. I get it, it's a bit complicated. And the last question is, have you implemented lean portfolio management? These are really important questions to ask yourself. So I'll give you a few seconds to count how many no's that you have, and you'll see why in a second. All right, if you've answered no to 0 or to 1, you're a value unicorn. Congratulations. You are a very unique company. If you answered no to 2 or 3 questions, there is serious improvement needed to deliver value. And if you have answered no to 4 to 6 questions, then you're probably a feature factory. And what I mean by that is that your organization is very obsessed with delivering new features and how fast that you can deliver those new features. But are you actually getting value from those new features? That's what's the most important is it more important to deliver 10 features, or is it more important to deliver 2 features which bring a lot of value to our customers and turn those customers into lifelong customers, or that we're getting more revenue from those customers, that we're delighting those customers? So we don't want to be a feature factory. So the next question that we need to ask ourselves is, what is the solution to gain more value and to continually deliver value faster? Well, a solution, I think one of the most important solutions, is implementing value stream management with SAFe. And for those of you who are not familiar with value stream management, it's a set of principles and practices, and it optimizes where you apply your people, your processes, and technology to optimize the flow of business value continuously from when there's an idea all the way to customer delivery. And we want to add lean portfolio management to the mix as well, because we don't want to spend a lot of time implementing some large, significant initiatives without seeing whether or not we've proven the business hypothesis. How many times has an organization spent millions of dollars only to find out the solution they thought would change the world didn't? And it really isn't providing additional value. So there are really 3 parts to the value stream management. One is people, the other is process, and technology. In today's talk, we just have enough time to speak about people and process, and perhaps in a future session, we can talk about some of the technology aspects. But I find that the people and the process is where the most interest is. And of course, there are many great solutions that are coming out now where the technology will really help implement more value. So and before we go into these things, let's talk about some of the benefits of value stream management. Well, first of all, one of the most important things is increasing value, increasing the flow of value, accelerating our innovation. We want to be innovative. We want to develop things that are unique, that are differentiated from the competition. And that requires innovation. And many companies have trouble innovating and understanding which things are really going to move the needle in the business and which are not. And as you know today, things move at lightning speed. And if you can be first to the market, that really improves the economics of your value delivery. And of course, what it seems to be happening is every year we need more and more people because the demands on IT or R&D, whatever your organization that develops software or hardware, there's more and more demand, but there's, usually we can't continually keep adding more people. It just isn't, feasible. Yet we have to maintain the old stuff and still create new stuff. And when we operate in projects, we typically don't have stable teams. And another thing that's really important is that we continuously improve. In fact, we call it relentless improvement in SAFe because we're never happy. We want to seek perfection. We'll never reach perfection, but we want to seek that perfection. So interesting enough, Gartner came out and they said that given its benefits, meaning value stream management, it's not surprising that they predict that by 2023, 70% of the organizations will use value stream management to improve flow in the DevOps pipeline, leading to faster delivery of value. Now, when I was at Digital.ai, we did a study. Version 1 is part of Digital.ai, and that was rebranded. And we did the State of the Agile survey, and already we see that there was about 55% of the organizations have begun their value stream management journey. About 15% of them were starting some initiative. So I think these numbers are realistic. I'm always skeptical when I see the number 70% because it always seems that they use the number 70%. But since I have other data to back that up, I think it's a pretty good number. But it's going to take a while because people don't even understand what the heck is a value stream. And you'll find that it's not an easy conversation to have with executives. But we're going to help break that down. So one of the first practices of value stream management is people. And what we want to do is get away from those projects, as I mentioned, and instead, we want to organize teams around our value streams. And wherever you see a product, wherever you see a service, there is a value stream. Those are the operational value streams. Those are the products and services that we sell to people, which provides value to them in a form of monetary exchange or other value, for example, value to our citizens if we're in the government. So in order to achieve that, we need to do three things. We need to organize teams around your organization's products and services. And they need to be cross-functional so that your teams have all the roles and skills necessary. And finally, we need to organize your value streams in portfolios so that we can understand where should we put our people. Your people are the most expensive part of delivering value to your customers, and it's the most expensive, it's the highest expense that your corporation typically has. So we want to go from the command and control being organized in silos in that traditional hierarchy to where we evolve to having a team of teams, which we all know as an Agile release train. And we want those arts not just to be a collection of teams, but we want those teams who can deliver those arts to deliver end-to-end value for a particular product or set of products or a combination of products and services. And we want to apply this lean thinking. And as we all know from learning SAFe, that the goal of lean is to provide the most amount of value in the shortest possible time with the best quality and value to our customers. Now, it's a good thing when we have organized in an Agile release train, but all too often, the teams are organized in ways that create silos. We have an Agile release train, but we still have a dedicated UX team that's all by itself. And then we have a team of business analysts and a team of developers and a separate team of testers. You've just moved your silos. Now you still have silos. And this is a great quote from Mary and Tom Poppendick. And they say organizational boundaries can increase cost by 25% or more, and that they create buffers that slow down response time and interfere with communications. And I don't know about you, but what I often hear in companies is that if a developer wants to speak to, say, operations or marketing or some other group, they got to get permission from their functional manager or the other functional manager to have those conversations. In fact, my eldest son is a software developer that works in Comcast, and he got in trouble for being too collaborative. His manager wanted him to work on their stuff, when in fact, we need to think beyond ourselves to truly get the value that we're looking for. So each Agile team needs to have all the roles and skills to deliver end-to-end value. And we often need the business people on those trains, on those teams within the train, and we also need some people from operations so that they can push those things in production. But that may not be enough. In SAFE, we used to talk about either organizing teams around features or organizing around components. And of course, whenever we can organize teams around features, that provides us with faster value delivery. But a new and better model has come along. I don't know if you have read the book by Manuel Pace and Matt Skelton, their book on team topologies. And they have identified 4 different structures for organizing your teams into stream-aligned teams, which are kind of like organizing across the entire value stream, not just the product, but across the value stream. They have enabling teams, complex system teams, and platform teams. And I don't have time to go into each of these, but if you haven't had a chance to read about team topologies, you can read about it in the SAFE website. And we talk about how to organize teams using team topologies, and you can also scale this up to apply to arts. Another important thing is that we organized our value streams within portfolios. So what you're looking at is, this is a typical company, and it's ABC Insurance, a fictitious company, and they have an enterprise, is the ABC Insurance Company. However, they have one portfolio for home and auto, another portfolio for personal insurance, another portfolio for recreational insurance, and another portfolio for business insurance. Now, the advantage of putting your value streams and organizing them within a portfolio is this way I can look at how is the performance of our home and auto products. Are they doing well? Do we need to put more investment in them, or do we need to invest less in them? So perhaps during the pandemic, we may need to reduce investment in our recreational insurance because maybe less people are traveling. Or maybe it's a new division and we want to put more investment. We can now look at how much we're spending in terms of people who develop the solutions for each of those portfolios versus the return that we're getting them. So portfolios allow us to understand where we're going to get the most benefit in putting our people. And another important thing is we want to have this one portfolio mindset. So we want each of the value streams within the portfolio to think about the larger aim of the portfolio, such that we're doing what's best for a particular portfolio. And of course, each portfolio needs to think what's best for the overall enterprise. And when we do this, we're really now going to be really executing on our strategy, not just working on a bunch of things and not really knowing how it's helping or the enterprise or not. So lean portfolio management is one of the most important things that you can do within the SAFE framework besides value stream management. So now let's talk a little bit about process. In enterprises, processes are also important, and we always want to keep our processes lean. So it's a very important component of value stream management. So we've identified three important things. One is we want to apply the 5 principles of lean, and we want to apply the 7 principles of lean software development from Mary and Tom Poppendick. The 5 lean principles come from Shook and Rather, who have developed value streams in the first place and have written some good books about that. And finally, we want to understand, how is value flowing in our organization? We want to use value stream mapping to do that. And again, today, we're not going to speak about technology, but we can use technology to understand how well that we're delivering value. How can we correlate the work that we're delivering to the marketplace with the actual value that we're getting? So we can instrument our systems to help us correlate when we deliver features and products to the market with how much value that we're getting with that. And today, in order to see the whole system, you actually need software to see the entire value stream. So I'll briefly go over some of these things, the 5 principles of lean. One of the most important things is that we need to identify, what does value mean in your context? What is your customer willing to pay for your product and services? Which products and services does your customers think that are important? So this requires doing market research and applying customer centricity and design thinking what you do. And I've got to say that Rentouch really understands their customers really, really well. I'm always impressed by how they're always adding new features to their products, which really helps meet the marketplace. And it's hard finding really great product management people. So now, once we understand what our customers value through customer centricity and design thinking, then we want to understand, how does value flow within our value stream? So we can understand where are the bottlenecks? Where are things getting delays? Where are things getting hung up? So once we can map our value stream, then we can identify and remove waste from the value stream so that value can flow without delays, without interruptions, without bottlenecks. Now, once we have done that, one of the things that we want to do is also establish a pull system. So it's one thing to create value for our customers, which could be internal, external, but we want to be able to release that value when the business needs it. So using a Kanban system is certainly helpful in establishing a pull system. And the other part of that is using things like feature toggles, some people call them feature flags, so that we've now moved the code into production, but it's not made available to our customers yet. But when the business is ready to use that new functionality, it's simply turning on a feature flag or feature toggle so that that functionality can be made available to either all of our customers or a subset of our customers. And that also allows us to do A/B testing to see which way that we deliver a particular feature or functionality will provide the best solutions to our customers. It also can reduce risk by using feature flags as well. And the next and last principle of lean is seeking perfection. It's that relentless improvement. It's making lean thinking part of the culture. This is how we do business around here, and we're always seeking and pursuing perfection in a relentless way. We're never happy with the current state. We're always looking to improve that, and we know that we do that through iteration retrospectives, through PI retrospectives, or the inspect and adapt ceremony and the problem-solving workshop. And we don't have to wait till those events to make it happen. We're always looking to improve things. And when we use things like Kanban, then we might be doing retrospectives on demand as well. Another important thing is that we need to apply lean to our product development process. And there's some overlap between the lean principles and the product development principles, is that we want to eliminate waste in the system. Another important thing is that we want to build quality in. It's kind of like if you bake a cake and you take it out of the oven, the quality of that cake is the quality of that cake. There's not much you can do about it once it's baked. If you didn't use quality ingredients, if you overcooked it or undercooked it, there's usually not much you can do about it. The quality is the quality. So instead, we want to build quality in. So we're using the best quality ingredients. We're following a recipe that we know that works so that we bake a tasty cake. Otherwise, we'll just be pouring a lot of chocolate sauce on a really bad tasting cake, which has been overcooked, and it's like eating a brick. So building quality in is really important. We want to continually create knowledge. And the faster that we can create knowledge, the faster that we can create time to market. Today, it isn't the biggest fish that eats the smallest fish. It's the fastest fish that eats the biggest fish. And one of the ways that we can move faster is we can defer commitment of things to the last responsible moment. There's no reason to make some decisions which are hard to reverse and do them too early. So whenever possible, let's have some choices. Let's assume variability and preserve options. We want to deliver fast and we want to get fast feedback. So that means working in small batches. That means that we want to deliver things to a staging or production environment as soon as we can and get that knowledge we need to continually improve those products. And whatever we do, one of the most important things that we need to do is we need to treat our employees, as best as we can. If you don't treat your employees well, they will not treat your customers well. And that's having this systems thinking view where we optimize the whole, not just the parts. And one of the most important techniques of lean that we can apply to our development process is to map the value stream. We don't have time to go through all the steps, but you can see I've simplified that at the top. There's some preparation that needs to be done. We then map the value stream, its current state, and then we think about what do we want our future state to be, and then we'll develop an improvement plan to get from the current state to the future state, and then we'll begin executing that improvement plan. There is more information on value stream mapping on the SAFE website, and there is a lot of good information if you go to Karen Martin's website. She has a lot of great free videos on value stream mapping. Now, a quick learning lightning round. Here are 3 things that you can do right now. So the first thing you can do is close that feature factory. Stop obsessing about velocity and developing lots of features fast, because you just might be building up an inventory of things that really don't move the needle, and now you're just going to increase your technical debt. So again, as I mentioned earlier, if delivering features created value, well, that would be easy. But we all know not every feature provides value. And some of this new functionality is very time-consuming and expensive to deliver. Your program predictability measure in SAFE doesn't actually measure value. It measures how predictably that you are achieving your PI objectives, which might be delivering value. So you need to apply customer centricity and design thinking to the functionality that you deliver. Interestingly enough, there's a study by Pendo, who is a provider of software for understanding your user experience, that 80% of the features that we develop are not used. And this is causing many executives to start reevaluating their success metrics. There's been other studies like the chaos report where it said like 64% of the features aren't being used. But in digging deeper, that study only included 4 customers. The Pendo study was a much broader study, and there's a source that you can see and read more about that. So the answer is we need to develop not lots of features that don't move the needle, but we need to deliver less features, but deliver more value. And to do that, we need to hypothesize what are the business benefits that we think we'll achieve, and then be able to test those things and do things in a small way, and then get feedback, and then continually evolve. So you want to use minimally marketable features, and you'll want to create MVPs for epics. And use tools like Pendo and feature flags. And there's a lot more tools that are coming out that helps you implement feature flags and to actually get data on what's working. Is it A or B? The next thing is we need to reduce and eliminate those dependencies. That's what really causes the delays. And also how you organize your teams have a big impact. Probably most of our program boards look like the one below. Wow, what the heck is going on? You know, if you're doing these in person on a physical board, before we had tools like RenTouch, you had enough red string to knit a sweater with. That isn't helpful. So, but having an understanding of dependencies across the teams are really helpful. And if we can start understanding what is causing those bottlenecks, do we always have one team where everything has to go through? Like everything has to go through a user design, a user experience team, or it has to go through an operations team. So, and we also want to avoid splitting features across teams wherever possible, because that will create dependencies. So use tools that you can help really understand the dependencies, and only put significant dependencies on the program board. It's not about capturing every single dependency. It's about capturing the most significant dependencies. And what I find is every organization often tracks very minor things that will only take an hour. We're not trying to create a Gantt chart. We're not trying to create something that is going to show us a critical path. What we're trying to understand is where do we need to have collaboration, and how can we collaborate best, but also not have where we're at blockers, where one team is blocking another. And of course, organizing our value streams using team topologies and in Agile release trains and in portfolios will help us have that fast flow of value. The next thing is about breaking down silos. So one of the things about SAFe that I like was this idea of a dual operating system. You can still, you still need to have silos, but you need to get back to that entrepreneurial network where we're acting more like a startup. And we need to foster decentralized decision-making and make sure, in this comic they joke that, you know, how's it going? You've implemented SAFe. How are you doing with your silos? Well, we've created, you know, Agile release trains, and it's been a few months, but we still have silos. However, we now call those Agile release trains, and that, you know, that's a joke, but it's actually kind of what I often see in the field, where I saw a train of requirements people and a train of developers and so on and so on. And there's some techniques that you can do, such as having a product and team matrix, looking at your organizational chart, and using a problem-solving workshop to get good ideas from the art on how we can reduce and break down those silos. Finally, I just want to mention that I have created an approach to adopt value stream management, and there's a roadmap so that you can follow that roadmap. And if you want to learn more about that, you can download my free ebook. If you contact me at Agile Big Picture, I will send you a copy of the PDF for my free ebook, Value Stream Management for the Digital Age. Another resource which you may not have is Safe Distilled. This is the 5th edition of this book, and I've been very honored to be able to write those books. And now it's available for free in the Safe community. You can download the PDF.